I'm just going to touch on four simple things about bird dogging, and it's very timely. I mean, I'm going to talk about four things that can be used during the recess coming up on the 18th to the 26th, and bird dogging at congressional town hall meetings. So we're going to get into the specifics of tactics, the nitty-gritties of tactics. Going to define briefly what bird dogging is. Going to lay out some simple goals of bird dogging. Lay out some simple tips for doing good bird dogging, and then talk about just a few things, things you might want to avoid when you're doing bird dogging. But for us, when we talk about bird dogging, the definition is to search for and to pursue with dogged determination, to seek out, follow, detect, and then act again. So it essentially means we're going to look for and attend political events, town hall events. When we go to those events, we're going to ask legislators specific questions on key issues that we care about, and then pin them to get specific answers. Bird dogging means you get to speak out and fight back along with other like-minded folks. It's liberating, and actually, in fact, when you bird dog, you may be called a heckler, and that's okay, actually. Bird dogging means that we're fighting for government of, by, and for the people. We're fighting for an economy, a healthcare system, an immigration system that works for everyone, that serves the common good, the public interest. So there's specific tactics, but it's connected to this larger goal of fighting for justice across the board. So that's what bird dogging is. It's being a dogged determination, asking specific tough questions, looking for answers. So what are some goals? Got 5 simple goals for bird dogging. One would be you want to get elected officials to respond to your issues, your stories, your concerns. You want to get specific answers to things you care about. You want to that would be the first goal. Second goal would be you want to get your issues covered by the media, by the press. You want lots of people to know about, care about, and identify with your issues and demands, because this helps build support for what you're doing. It inspires other people to act, and it puts pressure on elected officials to act. Goal 3, you want to elevate the profile of your organization so that more people know who you are, what you do. Again, this helps build public support for what you're doing, and it can inspire other folks to act. Goal 4, you would want to encourage other everyday people, folks who share your issues, your concerns, to join and get involved in your campaign, get involved in your organization. So bird dogging can help build power and capacity so that you can get results and make change happen. And goal 5, you want to look for opportunities to create corporations or people moments. That's what Mitt Romney said when he was bird dogged at the Iowa State Fair in August of 2011 by a group of about a dozen CCI members. And it's these kinds of moments can have a lasting impact and shape public opinion and how people think about what's possible and what's needed in our communities to make them more just, more humane, more small d democratic. So what are some tips, some simple tips for bird dogging? Well, first, you got to bring people. That's an essential ingredient. And in fact, the more the merrier. I mean, you can do bird dogging with 7 or 8 folks. You can do it with 20 to 30. Or you can do it with 50 to 60 folks, and you can do it with hundreds of people. In fact, that's what we've seen over the past year at town hall meetings across the country. And it was these big bird dogging events capture our attention, they inspire people, and they create pressure for elected officials to act. So the theme, as far as people is concerned, is the more the merrier. Of course, you want to have a plan. You want to prepare your strategy and your questions in advance. You want to know what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, who's going to say it, and when you're going to say it. And of course, you go in with a plan, but you have to be nimble so that you can adjust accordingly. And once you got your plan, you need to execute it. You need to put it into motion, into action. You need to go to and attend town hall meetings. And when you do go to the town hall meetings, try to get there early. That allows you to scope out the venue, get a visual picture of what it looks like and how you can deploy your folks in that venue to have the biggest impact possible. And so when you get to the town hall, spread out. Don't sit all together. It's a good idea to have your folks throughout the audience. And it's also a good idea to have some folks up front and in front. It's harder to ignore you when you're up front. It's also harder to ignore you if you're up front, if you're in the middle, if you're on the sides, or if you're in the back, if you're everywhere. So you want to create that notion that, your folks are everywhere. When you ask your questions, ask them early and ask them often. Georgia talked about bringing up the nominees several times. Are you going to vote no? Are you going to vote no? Are you going to vote no? It's good to ask the questions early and often, and throughout the town hall. They'll get noticed more if they're brought up again and again and again. And it's okay to create tension at the town hall meetings. It's okay to be visible. It's okay to be noticeable. You might want to bring signs. We've brought 8.5 by 11 cardstock paper with 2-3 word message on it, and we print the message on the front and the back so that when we hold up the signs, the people in back of us know what we're saying and the people in front of us know what we're saying. You want to be noticed. You want to draw attention to what you're saying. You want to draw attention to your concerns and issues, the things that you care deeply about, and the things that you want to get action on. Of course, take video and push it out on social media. You want lots of people to know about what you're doing at the town hall, what's happening, what folks are saying. You want the world to know what's going on. Again, this helps build support for the issues and concerns that you're raising, but it also creates pressure on elected officials to act. Take notes. What happened? What was said? You can use this specific information when you communicate with the press, when you communicate with the general public, when you communicate with your membership. It's important to have the details of what was happened, what was said. And then talk to the press. Seek them out. Don't wait for them to come to you. Go to them. Make your story public. Again, this will help build support for your issues. It will help inspire other people to act, and it will put pressure on elected officials to act. And finally, a couple things to avoid when you're bird dogging. These are just a couple things. There could be other things. One is, don't ask softball questions. And these are questions that allow politicians to escape accountability, to give answers that either don't mean anything or they could mean anything. And politicians can be champions at doing this. So don't ask softball questions. Ask tough, specific questions and demand specific answers. Tough questions create tension, and that's a good thing. Don't ever give up. We're fighting for big change. Big change takes a while. It takes perseverance. It takes grit. We have to keep at this 24/7 all around the year in, year out. We have to sustain ourselves in this big fight. We have to be connected to an organization or organizations or a movement that has vision, strategy, and staying power. We have to have a marathon mindset, not a sprinter's mindset. Hard stuff is hard, so we need to be in this fight for the long haul. And I'll just close by saying, blessed be the fighters, blessed be the agitators, and yes, blessed be the hecklers. So let's do this thing.